Guys, guess who's back? We have the gang together now. So obviously, guys, I apologise for the lack of videos for a while. I have been crazy busy with work. But we are here joined today with Technical Ferrets. Say hello, Ferrets.
It's about time.
Yeah. And John, also say hi, John.
Hey.
Guys, you're going to be seeing a lot of these two guys lately in the upcoming Machinima. Ferrets and John especially. They are one of the major leads. So at the end of the day, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about patch notes, because the major reason for this is Nav Meshing. This is a lot bigger than people are believing it to be. So we're going to break down the whole patch notes as we usually do, and then we're going to talk about Nav Mesh. So grab a drink, hit video, hit pause, grab a drink, and we'll get straight into it. So obviously, guys, this is Evo Cardi build, which none of us have to worry about here because none of us are Evo Cardi. It is for 3.17.2b. So obviously, the testing focus, obviously the audience is Evo Cardi. Database reset, no. Long-term persistence enabled. Pledge copy disabled. Starting is 10,000 UEC. Right, testing focus. Siege of Orison Dynamic Mission Playtest, Derelict Reclaimer version 1, and Derelict Colonization Outposts. So, known issue. Space elevators leaving Hab may not respond. Elevators, physics, hangars, elevators, collision grid pushes player through its path when called, multiple locations. Combat AI, FPS, NPCs, rubber banding, shipping, kiosk UI, shop search feature, cannot currently search items names. Shop kiosk UI uses the search bar will make the player lose control of the mouse cursor. Probably big things you need to fix. Rest stops. R&R stores have no items on shelves to buy. Their kiosks have no stock available to purchase. MISC Hull A, the extended cargo spindle animation does not complete. Many missions are not awarding reputation. The remove claim jumper missions do not progress after player has reached mission location. Retrieval opt delivery missions, AI reinforcements do not arrive to the derelict outposts after the player arrives. Derelict colonization outposts, players will experience a server FPS drop around certain areas of the outpost. Also, with the outposts, the lootable crates are missing from the derelict locations.
Lovely.
Yeah. So look, guys. Obviously, it is an Evo Cardi build. We are expecting a lot of bugs. This is the second Evo Cardi patch. It is normally pretty rough, but the main reason why we're doing this is to talk about what is to come, and obviously, when we get it, it will be in a much better state. The refinery kiosks at the R&R and the area AL2 and L4 doesn't allow players to refine their materials, and the screen is missing a station's specialization. Performance, frame rate drops on the surface of planets and moons. We're approaching a UGF, or underground. What's UGF? Underground something facility.
Underground facility.
Oh, right, yeah, underground, yeah, okay. Yep. Bunker turrets, lawful missions. Bunker turrets will shoot at players with the lawful mission to be at the bunker. That might be an issue. LGF raid mission, AI, combat AI. Some enemy AI will not engage security AI or players. Location mission, restricted area, warning occurs inside the UGF even if the player has a lawful mission. Medical, down players may become desynced. And FPS weapons, weapon holsters or unholster unintentionally. Now, like we say, there are a lot of bugs. It is a second build of Evo. We were expecting that. But, yeah, it's obviously it's in a pretty rough state. But, you know, that's what we expect from the Evo Cardi. Now, two big things that we want to talk about this. I presume, obviously, Fez and John will want to talk about the Siege of Orison. And also we want to talk about Nav Meshing. So the Siege of Orison, shuttle from Orison to easy will double up. Teleport, which can cause players deaths. Client crashes can occur on the shuttle from Horizon to Solanki or Horizon spaceport after looting. After mission complete, the shuttle back to Horizon will teleport back to Solanki. Hard UI. There will be still some hostiles remaining on the island, but there are no AIs left to neutralize. The lieutenant on Solanki Island never spawned in. Enemy AI can spawn in the floor of the tower. Certain AI will not be aggressive towards the player. The IFFI screen turns back when the been streamed black after being disconnected. Okay. The IFFIs from the previous mission instance will remain during the future instance of the mission. What do you guys think? We'll start with the Horizon. What do you guys think of the Horizon? What are you looking forward to? What part of it are you excited for? Fez, you want to start?
Well, it is a new approach to the events.
Yep. And it's completely done on planet side too, which is, well, glass cloud side.
Right. I have actually had the pleasure of kind of partaking in it when it was in the PTU.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there were no NPCs there, but there were other players there.
Yeah.
And they weren't exactly friendly, so.
No. Yeah, so there is a lot of PvP and PvE in this instance. Obviously, at the end of the day, the main thing is designed for PvE, but obviously you will get players that try and do PvP there. It definitely looks interesting. This is something that obviously I've known about coming for a while. That's why it's in the machinima script. But at the end of the day, it's good fun, and not only that, but it also means that you don't need a ship, and this is where it's kind of a big thing, because at the end of the day, this is stuff that you can do while you're in a town. So like this can be like, like, hey, I've just spawned in, I've just started the game, I've got a few missions on my belt, I've got a little bit of money, but I need to go and make some serious cash so I can go and buy a ship. Right?
The only problem with that is that I heard the mission is going to be a one-time event.
Yeah.
So that means that once the people to finish it, it's not going to come back afterwards.
So I've heard it's going to be in the roster, but at a very low amount.
I don't know.
I
mean,
yeah. John, what are your thoughts on the whole Siege Orison thing? What are your thoughts?
It looks like it's going to be really interesting. It's funny because when they had the whole Invictus Week convention, I actually got lost looking for that, and I went to the Siege of Orison place instead, completely by accident. I was running around there, and it looks like what I saw of it, it actually looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. There's a lot of it's a lot of environmental effects. So there's a lot of fire. There's there's a bit of fire around there. There's a bit of bodies. There's a bit of blood and guts and chaos, and it definitely sets the scene very, very well. And from what I hear, there's 4. I think there's 4 islands from what I've heard.
Yes, there's 4.
Yeah.
And from a narrative standpoint, I feel like it's setting things up for Pyro, because with Pyro you're probably going to be running into Xenothread and Ninetales.
Oh yeah.
Because the Siege of Orison, that's Ninetales, right?
Yes.
Yes,
that's a Ninetales.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was Ninetales or Xenothreat, but
Yeah, no, I think that's Ninetales. Xenothreat are the ones that do the attacks on Stanton for
The UEE.
Yeah, because they're siding with the aliens. Yeah. And look, like I said, the best part about it is, right, this is basically a testbed for them bringing in missions that are based location. So, like, social-based locations. So, like, for example, like they've talked about the ability for us to go through it and do a mission where you basically go through and clear a whole bunch of terrorists out of a building in ArcCorp. Like in Hurston, they can go through and they can do, like, they've got the down satellite mission, which is location based. But like, if they start bringing in these sort of missions that we can do while we're in those social areas or close to those social areas, that at the end of the day, that gives people the opportunity to go and make some money and then go and buy their ship. Because this is the thing, we're Star Citizen, right? We all have a ship because that's what we buy the package as. But when Star Citizen does go live eventually, you will be able to play the game and not have a ship. You will be able to start with, say, $5,000 or $10,000, and you will have to work your way up to doing missions around the social spaces to save up money to buy an Aurora or an Avenger or whatever it may be you want. So at the end of the day, these sort of missions are good testing grounds for them to bring some of that stuff in to start flushing out some of these social spaces to allow people to make some money without needing a ship. And that's the best part about it too. Plus, it's going to be fun to shoot a whole bunch of bad guys.
Yeah. Who doesn't love shooting bad guys?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So apart from that, obviously, then feature updates, locations, lighting polish on the new space stations, performance polish on the new derelict reclaimers, gameplay, food and drink polish pass update, purchasing update. Sorry. There's food and drinks can now be purchased in multiples using many of the ship kiosks. Ships and vehicles update the Scorpius QT HUD location. Cortec acted downstream networking updates. They've enabled a new remote movement and new server authority position system. Oh, that is getting in. That's the start of server meshing. This will update players. There should be great improvements with foot player positions and less jittery behavior while viewing remote player movements. Oh, thank God for that. Personal transport service beacon missions should now correctly appear in the contact manager. Fixed other issues that was causing foot player NPCs to appear to teleport while moving. Fixed another issue which could cause players to appear standing in space while EVAing. Fixed an issue causing AI to not spawn around derelict reclaimer missions during the delivery missions. Fixed an issue that was allowing players to accept abandoned missions. Fixed an issue causing AI not to be present during the recovery stash of the reclaimer mission. Hijacked reclaimer missions flow should no longer break by inserting any hacking chip other than the one specified by the mission. Fixed an issue causing the the breach and steal mission takes place in to be attacked and destroyed by security ships. Whoever wrote these patch notes is not English as their first language. Fixed an issue that could sometimes cause 2 instances of Siege of Orison mission to become available after the mission fails. Fixed an issue that was causing certain spawn closets locations on the admin center platform to block the boss spawning during the Siege of Orison. Fixed an issue causing mission ships to sometimes spawn under the platform surface during the Siege of Orison. Fixed an issue causing AI not to leave their open spawn closets on the open floor of the restaurant. Siege of Orison. Aurora and freelancers should no longer get stuck when attempting auto dock with the staff area. They fixed 3 client crashes, 1 server crash. Now, obviously, the big thing about this, guys, and they've talked about it a couple of times here, is the Nav Meshing. So, what Nav Meshing allows them to do, it allows them to go through and actually map the area around the NPC. So, if your NPC is standing in the center, they will take notice of the surrounding area, say for example for 5 steps in each direction. And what this does is it means that the NPCs will be able to detect things like ladders, stairs, rocks, obstacles in general, and allow them to be able to navigate around that area. This is big because at the end of the day, this means that we can start getting NPCs patrolling bases, and also in the future, we can also start getting creatures. For example, your space heady, right? Your walkers and stuff. That needs nav meshing before that can come into the game. And from what I'm hearing, 3.17.2 has nav meshing already in there. And that's why they're testing it with these reclaimer missions with like NPCs spawning in and reinforcement troops and stuff. That's all leading to nav mesh and the ability for them to actually be able to bring in reinforcements and stuff like that. This is a game changer because, like I say, this means eventually, things like stalkers and the space cows, and also it means that when we go to derelict missions and stuff, there will be NPCs that will be able to get around and patrol those areas and make those a little bit more exciting. We could even get like caves with spiders and stuff. Fez's favourite.
We can have we're probably going to avoid those caves at all costs.
I'll start sending CIG some photos of like huntsmen from Australia and stuff, and they'll get them in the game just for Fez, alright?
Well, it'll be interesting to run into the fucking boreal stalker in like a cave or something. That'll be terrifying.
Yeah, or even like I say, even something like some sort of alien that lives in there that'll attack you or something like that. Like it doesn't even need to be a spider, but something like a slug or some sort of creature.
Yeah, like something you're gonna need to bring a railgun with you to fucking to put a 404 on its birth certificate with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll just fire a torpedo down the tube before you go in there.
Yeah.
But that's to say, obviously that's where the start of nav meshing comes in, and that's why nav meshing is hugely important. And I get the feeling, look, a lot of people are talking about the Siege of Orison, which is, don't get me wrong, it's amazing, it's a great thing, it's great for gameplay, it gives us something to do. But the nav meshing is the big thing.
Yeah, it opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, like
isn't like the pathfinding of like AI ships improved with that as well?
Yeah, so that was something that came out in 3.17.1, was that they were saying, I think it was in 3.17.1, where ships can now map the actual planet, so that when the ships come in, they can actually pick spots to do like drop-offs and stuff like that. And this was leading up to reinforcements, which we get in 3.17.2. Because obviously they need the ships to be able to come in and land, and then obviously in 3.17.2 they now have it so that the AI are now able to run out the back of the ship and to go through and and become a problem or a situation that we have to deal with. It's impressive the speed that they're working this stuff out. In one patch we literally had them mapping ships and coming in for landing, and then the very next patch we have AI reinforcements coming out the back of ships now. So within 6 months we've gone from nothing to ships flying in, landing, and then reinforcements coming out. So that's impressive. But at the end of the day, obviously, look, this is stuff, the core tech that we've needed for a while, and once they get this stuff down pat with the test beds, which is obviously like the reinforcements, the colonial outposts and stuff like that, once they get all that down pat, they can then just copy paste it to all the other stuff. Your stalkers, your space cows come in, all your creatures come in. Just even the fact of like having bases, enemy bases and stuff with Xenothreat or Ninetales, you might be able to come up like some of these bases that are still functioning. You might go in there and there might be friggin' Ninetales in there, or you might be doing a drop off at a base location, and all of a sudden you have Ninetales basically romping up, and you then get into a firefight. So
yeah.
Fez, any comments on the nav meshing or?
it's definitely going to make bunker missions a lot more different, interesting too.
Yeah, well, reinforcements will be able to come in with your bunker missions even. We're seeing that already. I think that was mentioned in the patch notes about reinforcements and stuff. And John, you got anything to add before we wrap this up?
Not really.
No. All right, guys. Let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Do you think Nav Meshing is as big as we're saying, or are you more interested in the Siege of Orison? Let us know what your thoughts and comments are. Apart from that, guys, obviously these guys' socials will be in the description below. John is talking about doing the YouTube thing. Fez already has the YouTube and Twitch thing. All those details will be in the description. Please feel free to go and give them a like and give them a subscribe as well. Because you're going to be seeing a lot more of these guys and a couple others that are regulars. You're going to be seeing them around a little bit more lately. Spoilers. We're just waiting on Fez to buy a webcam.
Right.
No pressure. But at the end of the day, yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And apart from that, there will be 2 more other videos coming out today. So this will be the one of 3. So have a great night, enjoy yourself, and we'll see you guys in the next vid. You guys want to say bye?
Not really.
All right. John,
Bye.
want to say bye, John?
I guess.
No worries, guys. Talk to you soon.